All right, section 1.6 is describing pairs of angles. So complementary angles are two positive angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. So what this means is they can be connected or they can't be connected either way. So on this one here, we know that they are connected because we have 1 and 2. So we can say on this one here that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. All right, and they don't have to be connected just as long as their angles add up to 90 degrees. So we can say that the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B, in this case, is equal to 90 degrees. All right. Same thing with supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two positive angles that whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees. Again, they don't have to be connected. When they are connected, we're going to give them a certain name here shortly. But on this one here, we can say that the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 is equal to 180 degrees. And same thing with this other one here. All right. Again, they're not connected, but they add up to 180 degrees. So the measure of angle C plus the measure of angle D is equal to 180 degrees. All right, so we're going to see we have a lot of vocab on this section here. So the next one says adjacent angles are two angles that share. Notice how I have share in capital letters because it's important. They share a common vertex and a side, but have no common interior points. So what's saying here is we have a common vertex and we have the common side. Remember, in the interior, it would be like right here. Okay, well, that is not in angle 5 at all. Or even if I had a point over here, it's not in angle 6. All right. So again, it says that they have to share a common side. Now, just think of it. An easy way to think of it is next to. They are next to each other. All right. So adjacent is the same as next to. So in this case, you can tell that angle 5 and angle 6 are adjacent. But angle 7 and angle 8 are not or non-adjacent. Okay, so example 1. In the figure, name a pair of complementary angles and a pair of supplementary angles. So here I'm going to kind of give you a hint on how to remember which one is 90 and which one is 180 degrees. So complementary angles start with the letter C, right? Supplementary angles, well, that starts with the letter S there. And if you think about it, I'm going to do this. So complementary, the C becomes a 9 or 90 degrees. And for the supplementary, well, we know it's 180 degrees. And if you think about it, I can make that S an 8. So that's a little mnemonic there for you to remember the difference between complementary and supplementary. Okay? So let's look at our complementary angles. And again, they have to equal 90 degrees. Well, it looks like here it's going to be angle ABC. And let's see, angle GEF. This one right here. they both add up to, again, they don't have to be adjacent, and they just have to, the total has to equal 90, in this case 90 degrees, I'm sorry. So we have angle ABC and angle GEF are complementary. Now, remember, I could have called this one here, since it's by itself, I could have called it just angle B if you wanted to. But again, remember on this one here, I couldn't have called it angle E because, again, I want to know which angle E we're talking about. All right, so that's our complementary. Supplementary adds up to 180 degrees. And our supplementary angles are angle H, J, K, and angle DEG. All right, and again, if you added them up in your calculator, you would see that they do equal 180 degrees. All right. Okay, example 2 says, let's see, angle 5 is a complement of angle 3, and the measure of angle 3 is equal to 53 degrees. Find the measure of angle 5. All right, so let's just go ahead. Complement, again, is 90 degrees. So we can say that the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to 90 degrees. We know that the measure of angle 3 is 50 degrees, 53 degrees. Again, we have to find the measure of angle 5. All right, and if we subtract both 53 degrees from 90, or on both sides, we'll find that the measure of angle 5 is 37 degrees. Okay, supplement means 180. So we are going to say that the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 4 is equal to 180 degrees. We know that 4 is 29 degrees. Measure of angle 2 is the one we're looking for. And that will be 180 minus 29 degrees. So subtracting 29, get that the measure of angle 2 is equal to 151 degrees. All right, so on example 3 here, it says the veins in a leaf form a pair of supplementary angles. Find the measures of the angles where the measure of angle 1 is 7x plus 13 degrees and the measure of angle 2 is equal to 25x plus 7 degrees. So remember, what they're saying here is that this angle here and this angle here add up to 180 degrees. So we can say that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to, again, supplementary is 180. All right, measure of angle 1 we have as 7x plus 13. The measure of angle 2 is 25x. And again, those both equal 180 degrees. So now we're going to combine like terms again. So 7x plus 25x will be 32x. 13 plus 7 is 20. And again, that equals 180. Again, now we're going to subtract 20 on both sides. So I'll get 32x is equal to 180 minus 20 is 160. And now I'm going to divide by 32. And on 32, I'll get x is equal to 5. Again, that's not what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the measures of angle 1 and angle 2. So the measure of angle 1 is equal to 7 times 5, because x is equal to 5 plus 13. And if we work that out, we'll get 48 degrees. The measure of angle 2 is equal to 25 times 5 plus 7. And if we do that, so 125 plus 7 is 132. And again, as a quick check, notice how I put them underneath each other. That should equal 180 degrees, which it does. So our answers are 48 degrees and 132 degrees. Okay, so two adjacent angles form a linear pair when their non-common sides are opposite rays. Their non-common sides are opposite rays. So again, if we're looking at it here, here's our vertex. This is a non-common side. They're opposite rays. Okay? And we know that the angles are supplementary, excuse me. So they equal 180. So we can say, in words, angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. And what that means then is that their measures, so the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. So that just tells us that they are supplementary. So two angles are vertical angles when their sides form two pairs. And it looks like I didn't do a good job of proofreading this. Pair of opposite rays. And then, oh man, I really didn't. So this right here shouldn't even be there. So that's my fault. I will make sure I fix that for next year. So I'll make myself a note. All right. So two angles are vertical angles when their sides form two pairs of opposite rays. So again, what it's saying here is one pair of opposite rays. Here is the other pair of opposite rays. So when they do that, you can say the ones across from each other. So angle 3 and angle 6 are vertical angles. And every once in a while, instead of writing the word, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just use a symbol. I noticed I was running out of room there, so I just use this symbol for angles. And I'll do the same for the other two, because again, we should always have two pairs when there's an intersecting lines. So our other ones are here, 4 and 5. So we can say angle 4 and angle 5 are vertical angles. All right, so those are both of them that we need to know. All right, so we're doing good there. All right, and now, again, I told you I left you a lot of room here. That's why we have this. So, example 4, it's asking us to identify all the linear pairs. and all of the vertical angles in the figure below. All right, so now the linear pairs is going to take us a little room here. So remember, linear pairs, they are next to each other. So if we look at it here, would you agree we have 1 and 2? Those are next to each other. And how about 3 and 4? So in the same format that we're going, angle 5 and 6. And angle 7 and angle 8. All right, but now, those aren't the only ones, because if you think about it, aren't 1 and 4 next to each other? Right? So yes, they are next to each other, and 2 and 3, etc. So here, let's go ahead and erase all the purple ones so we can see the pink ones there. So we can say that angle 1 and angle 4. We can say angle 2 and angle 3. We can say angle 5 and angle 8. And let's see, angle 6 and angle 7. Okay, so those are all our linear pairs. If you think about it, we just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 of them. All right, which could make sense. It should make sense, right? Because again, they are next to each other. All right, now let's look at the vertical angles. And again, they're going to be ones that are opposite each other. All right, so if we look at it, we have angle 1 there. What's the one opposite? It's angle 3. And if we think about it, that then makes angle 2 and angle 4 vertical angles of each other. And angle 5 and angle 7. And finally, angle 6 and angle 8. So those were our vertical angles. Okay? So I think, let's see, we have one more example here. So two angles form a linear pair. The measure of one angle is 8 times the measure of the other angle. Let's find each angle. All right, so easiest thing to do if they don't give you one, draw a picture. So remember, when you're drawing this picture, ladies and gentlemen, linear pair means I have a straight angle. Right? And somewhere in there, they're going to add up to 180 degrees. Right? And like I told you, I think it's easier to use numbers, so I'm going to call them that. So I'm going to let angle 1 equal some variable. All right? It doesn't matter which variable you use. For some reason, I used S. So if angle 1 is equal to S, then we know that the measure of angle 2 is going to be 8 times S. All right? So remember, what we're saying then is that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure angle 2 is equal to, again, they're supplementary, so we know that it has to be 180 degrees. And again, or knowing the fact that a straight line is 180 degrees, a straight angle is what we call it, remember? So then we can say then that S plus 8S is equal to 180. Combine the like terms, 9S is equal to 180. Again, that would be in degrees. Or divide by 9, and S is equal to 20. So if S is equal to 20, then we have to, again, read the question. It says find each angle. So the measure angle 1 is equal to S, or just 20 degrees. Measure angle 2 is equal to 8 times 20, because our S again was 20 degrees. And that'll equal 160. And as a quick check, 20 plus 160 does equal 180. And we're done. The notes were just a little slightly longer than the last time, but thank you, people. I'll see you tomorrow.